What is going on, guys? My name is Ryan. This is my wife, Gianna. We're with Tactical Treats Dog Training, and today we're going over the most important command you should be teaching your dog. You ready?
Yep.
Let's get to it. What's the most important command your dog should know? It's the place command. The command instructs your dog to get onto a designated area and stay on that area until released from the command. Place work is perfect for dogs with anxiety and high energy. It's also a vital component in basic obedience training. It teaches them impulse control, the art of calmness, and how to self-soothe. So before we get started on training the place command, there are three important things we're going to need as far as training tools go. First is going to be some sort of motivator. Often that's going to be treats in most dogs because that's the highest value to them. Gianna has her treat pouch ready to go with some freeze-dried treats in it. Second, we're going to need a leash. When we're working on the place command, we really prefer the slip lead. It allows us to have control over our dog, communicate with them with leash pressure, and also keep them in the training area while we're working on this particular command. I know, sweetheart. The last thing we're going to need is a place bed. We really prefer the K&H Place Cot. It's lightweight, it's durable. The best thing about it is this is machine washable material, so if it gets a little dirty, you can wash it. And finally, it comes in a variety of color and sizes. That way, it can fit whatever is best for your lifestyle. So if you're looking for any leashes, treats, or the Place Cot, we've provided links below. Feel free to check them out. There are favorites that we prefer to use while we're training. So we're getting ready to start our training now. We got our slip lead ready, our treats, and our place bed. Real quick, Gianna's going to show you how to properly put the slip lead on your dog so we can apply proper leash pressure when we're working on the training.
So if we have our dog on the left, we are going to make sure the correction is coming toward our body, the center of our body. If we were to flip it and put it on the wrong way, it's not actually giving the correction. So putting it on her, she's on our left. I am going to bring it nice and high right behind her ears. You want to give it a little slack, but you want to make sure it's not coming off of their head if they were to try to back out.
First, Gianna's going to get Charlie Ray comfortable with getting on and off the place bed. It's going to look a little bit like this. You can watch Gianna work her. We're just going to get the dog on and off, getting him used to the material, stepping onto an elevated surface.
Good.
And Charlie Ray's had a little bit of practice of this prior to us starting this video. But you can see you just want your dog to get comfortable going on and off. Sometimes with a new bed, this type of material, the dog can get a little weary, and they just need to get used to getting on and off. So if your dog's having a little bit of trouble getting on and off the placemat or is a little weary of it, we're going to try this little trick just to get them used to the material.
She's not fearful of the bed, but for dogs who are, it's a little bit tricky to get them to touch the bed. They always push away from it and show some resistance. So one trick that you can do is flip the bed over so it's on the ground. And you can get a treat in hand for luring. Yep. And you're going to walk right on it with them. If they don't do that, another thing that you can do. Come. Say she were to stay right here. Seats. And she's not wanting to come on. What you're going to do is show a little bit of leash pressure. You're just going to hold it tight. You're not going to pull your dog on. And you're going to let them make the decision to move forward.
So now we can get fully into the training. We're going to start using the place command and guiding our dog onto the place bed. Place! Once they're on the place bed, we can reward them. Yes! And when you first start this training, your dog may be a little bit uncomfortable staying on and be inclined to jump off quite a bit. That's perfectly normal. It's actually more common than not to have a dog jump off quite a bit. So if your dog goes ahead and jumps off, if I provide some leash pressure, nope. We're just going to tell them no, and we're going to guide them right back onto the place bed. So you always want your correction to be no if they go to get on the place bed, and that's the other reason we have the leash on while training. The leash allows us to quickly correct the dog and keep them on the place bed. So right now we're going to act as if Charlie Ray has jumped off the place bed. So as I grab her leash and she comes off, we're going to say nope. and use body pressure and our leash to gently guide her back onto the place bed. What we're doing here is communicating through our body pressure, our command, and the leash pressure that we want our dog to stay on the place bed. Communication with your dog is going to be one of the most important things we do through all our training to make sure they fully understand what we are asking. Now, it's really important to remember here that your dog has never done the place command before. Like I mentioned before, it's going to be perfectly acceptable for them to jump off at the start. It's almost expected. So stay patient and keep your training sessions between 5 and 10 minutes when you first start out, and stay persistent with it. One of the things about training is just like us training in the gym, we need to keep at it to get better. And it's the same with your dog. So don't get overly frustrated if your dog is jumping off or if you're having trouble at the start keeping them on place. That's why we have the leash, and it's okay for us to stand right next to the place cot while we start working on place and hold them accountable. Now that our dog's comfortable with staying on the place board with us holding the leash and right next to him, we're going to start working on the release word for place. For us, we prefer the word free. You can choose whatever word you like to use, but we just want to get them comfortable with releasing when we give them the command to release from the place board. So I start out and I'm going to say, Charlie Ray, free! And I'm going to be really excited and happy about it. I want her to be happy and enjoy this training and enjoy getting off the place board just as much as going on. I'm going to say, good girl. And we're just going to keep practicing that for a few repetitions. Now we're going to go, place. Yes. Good place. Yes, good girl. And we're just going to keep repeating, like I said, practicing the place command and the free command all at the same time. Free. Yay, good.
Okay, so some dogs get really confused when you go to free them off of place. So if they do get confused, one thing that we're going to start doing, free. Good. Is free them. And Charlie, right? Place. Yes, good place. Good. Free. Free. Good. Just like that. And you just want to keep doing it over and over again until they understand that they're allowed to come off with the word free. Place. Good place. Good place. Sometimes they get a pet, but when you're starting out, it's always treats. Free. Good girl.
Place. Yes. Good place. So now it's time to work on getting our dog to stay on place without us holding the leash. When we're going to start out with this, we're just going to keep the leash on him. We're going to drop the leash while we're standing next to the place board. You can see Charlie Ray kind of has her focus on me now, and it's important that when we're doing this, we're in a distraction-free environment. Now, we have other dogs in our facility, and you may be able to hear them in the background from time to time, but our front room right here is the most distraction-free we can provide for her. So she doesn't have a lot to get into right now. I have her off the leash, and I'm just going to kind of walk around the place board. If she does decide to get up at any point, that's when we're going to grab the leash, we're going to tell her no, and we're going to put her back on the place board. So as we keep our leash here, we can start increasing time that our dog stays on place and the distance we are away from our dog while they're on place. Now, it's really important to only increase one or the other at the same time. So right now I'm increasing the amount of time, but I'm still staying as close to the place board as I was originally. As Charlie Ray gets more comfortable staying on place, I can increase the distance I am by walking away. Now I don't want to increase both at the same time, so if my dog's staying on place for about 2 minutes, then I'm not going to ask them to stay any longer than 2 minutes as I walk further away. In fact, I'd almost expect them to want to get off quicker. Now, if she goes to get off at any point, kind of like we talked about before, we pick up the leash, we tell them no, we got him back onto place. It's a really simple concept, but the hardest part about it is staying super persistent with your dog and working through the hard times of your dog wanting to get on and off the place board.
So we're going to keep walking our dogs on and off of place. Charlie, right? Place? Yes, good place. She's getting a little quicker. One thing that you want to do is not back away all the time, because they're looking for our eyes to focus on us. That if you practice that over and over again by backing away, the second you turn, they usually get right off. So we're always going to practice, for the most part, with our backs turned. So once I start walking away from them, I'm going to put my hand out. Good place. Good place. If they stay on, I'm hurrying right back. I'm bringing the treat down so they don't get up. We don't want them to come up in the sit position for the treat. So, good place. Walking away, back turned, and then I'm going right back. Good place. Good. And we're feeding it to them.
Alright guys, now that we've gone over all the basics of training the place command, it's time for you all to get out with your dogs and make it happen. Stay focused, determined, and remember to have fun. We hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all our future training videos, and remember, never stop training.